We're up to checkpoint number, what are we up to? Number 4 now? Number 3 now. So with this checkpoint, as you know, they're optional. So some people are going to attend. Some people have already put in their apologies. Hi, Jacob. Can see you joining us too. So we've got a smaller group today, which is really, it's fantastic because it means that we can connect with each other a little bit more, which I like doing as a facilitator. Again, I'd like to acknowledge the Gubbi Gubbi people of the Sunshine Coast on where I am today, and acknowledge the traditional landowners from up in Mount Hagen, in Gumini, and Ethel's disappeared, and Sagari as well when she comes back. And just pay respects to elders past, present, and the leaders emerging from our communities. Oh, Stafford's coming in. Okay. So as you know, when we're working today, try to keep your camera frame around your face so we can see each other. If you're not speaking, just have your microphone on mute. And then, of course, if there's a big group of you, which everyone just seems to be working with 1 or 2 people, which is great, headphones are helpful when you work with a lot of people. Okay, so we're going to do create an opportunity to do a quick check-in with each other in a breakout room. Under Tali coming in on the phone. But we have got those 5 modules, only 4 of which are uploaded. And I noticed people are starting to move through that digital collaboration model. What I'm going to do today is pull through Miro board. It works similar to how we used Jamboard when we did the climate sprint the other week, where all of us can reach in at the same time. But I'm going to show you how that works as a bit of a tutorial. And if you have your device open with you today, you're going to be able to actually access the Miro board and play in the Miro board together with everybody. So what I might ask is that consider 2 questions. What learning have you been focused on right now in terms of coach training? If you're in module 1, what's a learning that you've, obviously been doing or enjoying? And then what support might you need? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to split us in breakout rooms, but in very small groups because there's just a few of us here today. So I might even put us into 3 groups, 2 groups. Might even put us in 2 groups. Okay. So when I open the rooms, just move over and you can discuss those 2 questions. So 1, what learning have you been focused on right now? And what support might you need if there's something that you think that we can do a little bit better for you? Okay, so I'm going to open those rooms now. Sophie will be in one and Junior will be in the other. There we go. Everyone's back again. Okay, so I'm going to keep moving because I'm going to try and stick to time. I'm going to do a good job of this, okay? So today we're going to be starting to look through some of the content that is in Module 1. I know that lots of you are really busy right now. End of Term 3 is always a really complex time, especially with senior examination schedules. And I know I always remembered Term 3. It's like, as a teacher, I don't want anybody to take my time. And so I appreciate that we're taking your time right now. So I'll try and keep the schedule going until 4 o'clock. So today I'm going to show you through Miro board as a platform. When we did our climate sprint with our students a few weeks ago, we used Jamboard, okay? And the same as how we used Jamboard, and we were able to reach in and work synchronously, so at the same time in a collaborative space. You can do this with Miro board as well. However, it's a much larger and bigger platform and it has more functionality and it's a really big space, which means that we can have hundreds of people working in one space at one time, which we very rarely do. However, it has the capacity to do that. So when we're working today, the easiest way to work is to have the video on one window and your slide deck on the other. So I'm going to show you what this looks like. It's going to shut this down. Oh, look, here's one of my favorite photos. This is my screensaver. Do you guys remember Raphael from Gumini? He's my screensaver. I love this photo of him because that's how we used to do our coaching sessions last year for Leading Learning. But anyway, I get to remember him every day when I'm working. Okay, so you can see here I have my chat on half my screen, my video meet on half my screen, and I have my slide deck on the other half of the screen. This is the easiest way to set up your screen where you can follow the instructions but also be working in an open space. So what I'm going to do is today, if you open Chrome, and then I'm going to ask you to put in the web address www.miro.com, okay? And I'll show you if I just go www.miro.com. Okay, you can see all of my boards are opening. Yours will look different the very first time you log in. Here, let me do this. Let's go. If I can model this the same. No, it's going to keep logging into my account. The very first time you log into Miro, it will ask you how you want to log in. And the best way to do it is to sign in using your Google account that you use mostly on the device. So for coach training, you would have issued us with a Gmail address. Use that same Gmail address to sign into Miro. Okay, it makes it so much easier because all of your Google accounts will start to sync with that one account. Okay, so what I'm going to do then, if you've got Miro open, I'm going to share the link for the board that I've created in the chat box. Okay, so if you click on the link in the chat box, it'll take you to this same board that I'm on. And I will let you know that Miro board uses a little bit more bandwidth because it's moving synchronously. So that you might find it being a little bit slow for you, but we'll deal with it as we go. Okay, I can see people logging in. That's awesome. So for anybody that's in, if you look at my screen right now, you'll see that on the left-hand side of my screen, there's a toolbar. On the toolbar, it has all different options for how I can navigate and how I might edit. But to start with, what we want to be able to do, actually, I'll start by saying the Miro board is like a massive big whiteboard. Okay, so if you think about if you had the side of a building as a whiteboard, you can zoom all the way into the smallest area or zoom all the way out and see a really big page. If you look at my screen, you'll see I've got 4 different areas here that I've got some editing. I've created some boards there. Okay, if I zoom right in close, I can zoom in by scrolling my mouse, or I can, if I've got a trackpad, the same as I do on a smartphone, I can use my fingers to make it bigger or smaller on my trackpad. Okay, so I can zoom right in or I can zoom out again. So what you'll find is on the frame that looks like it does on my screen, it's module 1.2.4, and you'll see that there's a frame for each school. Okay, so this is an activity that I set up to do as part of module 1, and it's mostly just to get you familiar with how to collaborate online synchronously using Miro board. So who have we got in here now? Is everyone in? we're still waiting on someone. So if you are in your Miro board, or if you are in this area for module 1, I'm going to ask that you find your school and you zoom in on your school. So if I look at Passam for today, I can zoom right in by scrolling my mouse. And I have a space here that I can work in with my colleagues. Just exactly the same as what we did with Jamboard when we did the climate sprint. Okay? So on the left-hand side, I can edit. There's a toolbar and it has options for how I can edit. So you'll see T for text. Below that, I can put in a sticky note or a post-it note. Below that, if I click, there's all different shapes that I might choose from. There's arrows. I can free draw with a pen, or I can put comments in. Okay? So what I'm going to ask you to do is we're not going to do the activity just yet. We're just going to practice editing. So if you are inside your frame, try and use the text box and try and put in some shapes and some post-it notes. Just have a play for about maybe about 6 minutes. Just have a play in your space. If you have any questions, just ask me in the text box and I'll come and help. You'll notice that any of the items that you insert, any of the objects you insert, you can grab the corner of them and make them bigger or smaller, okay? If you click on your item, you'll notice that there's also a text box that will appear above the item, which means because this is text, I can change the font size, where it's aligned, maybe the color of the font. I can make changes however I see fit, okay? So I'll stop talking. I'll give you about 5 or 6 minutes to just play. Okay. So I might keep moving, but you've got the very basics of how this works. When you go through module 1 and actually do the workshop, you'll notice that there's videos in there. They're the same videos that I sent across WhatsApp this afternoon. And they give you a little bit more information about how you might navigate. The reason I'm showing you the basics of it now is because throughout the coach training, I do have a few activities that it asks you, or it gives you an option to use Miro board, or it gives you an option to do a paper-based activity. So you will have the choice. So if you like using Miro board, you're of course welcome to use your school internet or the pass phone data to access Miro board to complete coach training activities. The next thing I'm going to show you is if I zoom in on my screen, if you have a look at my screen, on my toolbar, if I come right down to the bottom of the toolbar, there's, it looks like a little noughts and crosses, like a hashtag nearly, and it's a frame. If I hover over it, you'll see it has frame. If I click on frame, it allows me to create a board, okay? And by creating that frame, it gives me a space to work in. So if I wanted to run, say, a staff meeting with my team, and I wanted to have a common space to work in as a digital space, because sometimes we don't do it on the blackboard or the whiteboard, because then we have to take a photo to remember it, to store it all. We can do it on Miro board, and it automatically stores everything for us. Okay, so if I wanted to create a new frame, I might click on custom frame. You can see it's put one up here for me. So if you come over to the right-hand side of where we were working, I've now got a new frame, and I'll show you how to set this up. You can see that I've got a blue outline around where my new frame is. If I come up here to the toolbar, it gives me an option of the fill color. So I might decide, oh, I want a gray background. Sometimes I'll choose white or a different color. Whatever color you choose, think about what you're going to do with it. So it, like sometimes the colors contrasting is important, or sometimes you might have branding or a theme that you might want to use. So for today, I might use light green, okay? So on my light green board, if I don't want it to move, see how I can pick it up and move it? That gets really inconvenient sometimes when there's lots of people working on one board. So if I want to lock it in, can you see there's a little lock option on my toolbar? If I press lock, it actually locks that frame onto my board. So it means that people can't pick it up and move it around while I'm working. Okay, so that's a really important feature. Now that I have my board there, I can enter in any types of text or any shapes or any information that I want. Maybe I would like to put in some instructions here. I might say, I'll zoom in so we can all read it together. Welcome, coach team. Okay, so my instructions are up there. You know what? I'm not a huge fan of pink text. So you'll see on my toolbar, I can change the color of my text. I might change it to green. So to do that, I need to highlight my text, click on the color, and I change it. Okay? So what I'm going to ask then is that everybody come and complete this activity with me. And we'll just do this for like 5 minutes. Oh, that's a bit big. Okay, so welcome to Coach Team. Today we're playing with Miro board. Can you please create an icon that represents you on this frame? Okay. Oh, I can see somebody's down here editing. So anywhere on this green frame, try and put in an icon that represents you and put your name in the middle of it. So I might choose a different shape. So any shape that you put on, I'll use this one as an example. I've inserted that shape. If I want to add text to that shape, I can double click on the text inside the shape and my cursor pops up and I can put whatever text I want. I can obviously resize it as well. Okay, so Betty, I can see you're in here with yours now. I can see you're laughing too. But what you can do is if you double click on your text box, you can make it bigger or smaller. Okay. The other thing that you can do, I'm just going to move your text box over here, is if you double click on your shape, you can also type directly into the shape. And see how it's a little bit, the text is too big? Up here on my toolbar, I can drop the size of the text so it fits better. Okay, I'll stop. I'll leave your shape alone now. You can edit it. Hi, Pom team. Hey, Philip. Hey, Betty. Where are we? Hey, Sophie. Okay. Awesome. So you get the hang of it, right? Like it's a fairly simple to use platform. The only, like I said, the only issue with it sometimes is that if you have a low bandwidth, sometimes it takes a while to move and to synchronize. However, the thing that I've learned to really enjoy about Miro, especially through COVID, is that it's a really easy way to synchronously collaborate with your colleagues when you're not in the same place as them. So while you do have your colleagues that are at your school with you, more and more you might start to collaborate with people across schools, particularly as a coach group or particularly as school leaders. And so this is one way that you can do it, where you're all connected as we are today on Meet, and you're able to do planning and drafting together as well on a synchronous space. You can use it, of course, all the G Suite exactly the same as how you're doing this. What I find advantageous about the Miro board is that I think you get 3 boards for free. So I'm going to show you what mine looks like. You can see I have a number of different boards depending on what projects I'm working on. And I actually pay a subscription for mine, so I've got quite unlimited boards. However, you can get 3 whole boards for free. So this coach training board that I've set up, you can see if I zoom all the way out, you can see how much space is on this board. It's massive, okay? So when I zoom all the way in, we've got this one activity that we've been playing with today, and we've created a few extra frames around it. So as a teacher or as a school leader, it's an easy place to store information if you're working synchronously that way with your team as well. The way I have used it, and I'll show you this, yeah, I'm going to show you. I'm going to go over to a different project I'm working on, because this will look familiar to you. I ran a design thinking workshop with a higher education sector recently. And where are we? And we use design thinking. Okay, so you're very familiar with design thinking. And you can see we did each stage here, and we were able to collect all the ideas. So we had empathy, our definition phase. This team came up with a few how might we questions. They went into ideating, went and created their impact effort matrix down here, their proto plan, and then they went into their pitch. Okay, so you can see that we use it like in a million different ways that might also be advantageous to you. However, like I said, once you have your Google account, I think you get about 3 boards for free, and you can just use them however you want, and you can invite any of your students or you know, other colleagues via their email to access the link, just the same as I have with you today. What you'll find when you go through, I'm just going to take us back to our board. What you find when you go through module 1 is that this activity requires you to collaborate. So Gary had already done a little bit of work on that. I think that was Ethel. You'll see down here, module 4 has a different frame. You'll see over here, module 3 also has a different frame. So as you go through your modules, it will give you an option for some activities, whether you do a paper-based activity or whether you choose to use Miro. And there's no rules. It's just a preference whether you prefer paper-based or Miro. But feel welcome to go and explore and have fun with that space. I will send you through, or I already did, I sent you through the link to the slide deck for today. With the PDF that I sent you, all of these videos are live. So if I click on this, it will actually take me to the video itself. And they're the same videos that I sent through on the WhatsApp as well. So if you decide that it's something that you like using, feel welcome to share the videos across, I don't know, across your school, across some of your other colleagues as well. It might be something they're interested in using as well. And I'm going to leave it there, okay, because it is 3:58 and we are running on time. Okay, what I might do is stop sharing my screen. And I'll just open the floor. Does anyone have any questions about Miro or about the coach training course so far, or are there any clarification points that you need from me or Junior or Sophie or each other? Awesome. Well, we do have the WhatsApp group, so please feel welcome if after today, you know, you're working through anything and you've got questions, just throw it across there. Of course, you know, our whole team are on there, Junior Medi, Soph, so if I can't respond, they're amazing humans. They can respond too. Awesome. But thanks for having everyone today. We actually had a pretty big turnout in the end. We had everyone, and always under Tali traveling to meet with us. Good job. Thank you for the effort. And yeah, I might close the session there. 4:06. I know some of you have to go and like look at exams now, don't you? It's like, it's a hard Monday.
And Anna, you'll make the recording available. We'll make the recording available.
Yep.
Yep.
Awesome.
Good to see everyone.
Good to see everyone. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you.
See you soon.